Good morning and welcome to Today in L.A. My name's Mike Amos. His name's Bill Rice Jr.
You almost called me Rush Rice.
That's right. And he's now the talk of the town. People think he's what's that guy's name on TV?
Well, there's a lot of guys on TV.
But a lot of people think you look like Andy Griffith's boy.
Oh, Opie Taylor. That's right.
Of course, Bill Rice is with us today.
I'm looking at myself on the monitor. It's time to go see Raymond.
It looks good. You got Farley absent today, but he'll be around either next week or next Friday. And of course, we're full of action going on this morning because of the pro draft, and we were looking here. And we went through, and I evidently missed the 15th round somehow. I don't know how I did, but I didn't even have Mac.
Well,
Jones
here was everybody, all the gurus. You know, you got a lot of draft gurus, Mike. I'm a draft guru. I'm going to call myself a draft guru. All the gurus are saying Mac Jones is going to go number 3 to the San Francisco 49ers. But then this morning you show me a draft guru that says, no. Mac Jones is not going number 3. This quarterback from North Dakota State's going number 3 to San Francisco. And you said, I think Mac isn't even going to be picked in the first round, but I found him. This guy has him.
Goodness, I'm
he
glad.
has him going 15 to the New England Patriots, which would let him play with Bill Belichick, Nick Saban's best buddy.
Wouldn't that be great?
And, you know, a lot of people compare Mac Jones to Tom Brady coming out of college. So,
and I'm sure
let's let Mac Jones be the successor of the real Tom Brady.
You're exactly right. And I'm sure Belichick, as good a friend as he's with Saban, they've talked and talked deeply. And I bet Saban has talked him into taking him if he can get him in that round.
Yeah.
Because
well, look, the Patriots have Cam, who was once the number 1 overall pick in football, deservedly so. I'll talk about Cam in a little while. I got my thoughts.
And Cam, you know, Cam himself, he still thinks he's a commodity. He really does.
Yeah, he can still play. He's not like he was 4 or 5 years ago. But also the Patriots have Stidham, that was the quarterback at Auburn, and a good one that people bragged about for a while. So would Mac Jones go and compete with Cam Newton, Jarrett Stidham? I guess so.
Yeah, exactly. So here we go, and we'll be starting off. And you know, of course, the draft does not start until tonight, and a lot of people are you know, like Rice was telling me, a lot of people are cramming the boxes in Las Vegas because this is quite a bettable thing. You know, this number 1 draft choice is a
Fulton
real.
Morgan, yeah. I went to a betting site last night just to see what was going on, and you can make all kind of bets. You can bet who's going to go in the first round, if they're going to, like Devonte Smith.
Yeah.
They have over-unders on the draft picks, Mike. So it's for Devonte Smith, it's 11.5.
Yeah.
So if you bet under, you are betting he will go before the 11th round. If you bet over, you're saying he'll go after the 11th round.
Yeah, isn't that great? You know, so you could really bet on every one of these kids.
You could bet who goes first, Jalen Waddle or Devonte Smith. You got odds on that.
You could have bets on who's going to come.
Will they go in the first round? You can have bets on how many players for Alabama will go in the first round. The over-under is 5.5. So if Alabama you take the under and only 5 Alabama players go in the first round, you win. If 6 go in the first round, you lose.
Well, let me tell you this: the talking is over with, finally, on who's going to go when, and it looks like to me that
there's no doubt about who's going first.
Yeah, I know it. You're right, and he's definitely a good first candidate. You know.
I mean, if you're Tua at number 6, are you calling the Dolphins to pick Devonte Smith, or are you telling him to pick Waddle? Who do you think Tua would rather throw to?
I bet they've asked him that. Wouldn't you ask him? Yeah.
All right, one thing, and we keep saying it, and he said, and people are going to say, you tell us that all the time, but one thing that Smith doesn't have is physical bulk, and Waddle does. Waddle's over 200 pounds, isn't he?
No, Waddle is 5'10", 180.
Well,
He's thicker.
He's bigger than Smith, though, isn't he?
No, well, I mean, Smith's 6 foot 166, and one's 5'10", 180. They're both small.
Yeah, he's a little bit, yeah.
But
Smith is real small. You're right.
Yeah, I heard from watching all this draft coverage that the average NFL receiver weighs 200 pounds.
Yeah.
So he weighs 34 pounds less than the average NFL receiver. I don't care. I've watched him play. He can play, and
he can run away from college. We know this. He can run away from college defenders. I don't know about pro.
He can get open, and he can catch the ball when it's thrown to him.
All right, this is.
I mean, Brett Favre in an interview said he felt like Devonte Smith, from what he watched, should be the top pick.
Wow.
I mean, don't you think Brett Favre knows about receivers?
I think so, my brother. How's everything down in Florida, Northwest Florida?
It's beautiful weather. I was down in Destin last night. I drove back. I had a little event down there. And, man, every restaurant was full, and there's still a lot of people down here. But the weather's been great this week. It's been about 77 and lows tonight, low 60s, and the water's pretty, so it's a nice time to be down here.
I was, if you look at it, and everybody, says, school is still has a few more weeks, but when the month of May hits, a lot of schools are already getting out for the summer.
Yeah.
And the colleges especially up north, a lot of the colleges are getting out for the fall semester or the winter semester, and they won't come back until September 1st. Or no, excuse me, Miami, late. Yeah, that's right. In August. So it's going to be. It's not. I don't believe it's going to be a dull moment down there, Mike. It's going to be at least for the next month.
Well, it'll be like this throughout the rest of the summer.
Well, good. I mean,
I don't think it'll slow down. I mean,
well, why don't you open your beach house to your mom and daddy then?
Mom and daddy already have a beach house.
But I said yours. I want to see where I can watch all the yuppies walk by.
I went and watered y'all's plants yesterday.
Oh yeah.
Good for you. That's a good one.
Hey, how far did you have to drive to water her plants?
Out of traffic, trying to pass motorcycles to get there.
Yeah, this is the worst part of the whole summer, and I hate it. I know a lot of you guys out there have motorcycles, but this is Thunder. What is it? Thunder Beach, ladies and gentlemen, and over 30,000 motorcycles will be in Panama City Beach this weekend. Isn't that right?
Where did they all go, Michael? What did they do?
They have
urinate on the side of the street.
I went by the Harley Davidson store yesterday, and there's probably 1,000 of them there.
Yeah.
And then they have Pier Park has them down.
No way to get in my favorite breakfast room.
All the bars on Thomas Drive have events going on. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff everywhere.
You know what?
So they stay at hotels or everywhere.
Yeah, hotels and motels. I mean.
Well, let's just say this: there are more porta toilets.
Everybody's trying to show off their motorcycles.
Mike, are there a lot of porta toilets out there?
I mean, I'm sure at some of these bigger areas there are.
I would think there was, because a lot of these guys will be sleeping on the side of the road because there won't be enough room. Yeah. There's not going to be enough room for this kind of crowd.
What a huge event, man! Well, I thought they might have some kind of rally or convention or do something at an infield of some big racetrack or something.
Well, all the different bars and restaurants have parties and different events throughout. I mean, there'll be stuff up and down Panama City Beach.
I would not doubt if it
There'll
wasn't.
be something in Walton
Yeah.
County too.
I think there'll probably be fireworks, Mike, and and then they out there where they play baseball, and I wonder if I doubt if they'll play baseball. They don't want these kids around these motorcycle guys, and they.
No, that's where it's all set up out at Spring Brown Park.
That's right, yeah, out there.
That's why I was asking. They have one place where they kind of.
Yeah.
That's right, and usually they play baseball there, but they are not having anything to do with it this weekend, and thank goodness.
Tons of tents and everything. I'm on Zoom. I don't know, Steve back in the back or who's in
Yeah,
the
he's
back?
he's back. Yeah, he's on. Michael's on Zoom this morning.
But it's one of those things where I would imagine Troy will get a lot of traffic. People coming down and going.
Yeah,
to Troy
you're
to the
right.
beach.
Yeah, we see them.
You're exactly right.
You're right. It's huge, but I hadn't thought about how huge it is. And,
You can go out on the bypass and count motorcycles. That'd be fun today. Yeah.
How long does it
I tell
last?
you what, I tell you what, the majority of these guys don't have very good taste in women. The majority of the women out there on these bikes are not very good looking.
Oh yeah.
No comment.
Oh man, you hit it today, Mike. You hit it. You're right. I've seen some of those people too.
I don't know how you wear. I don't know how you wear all leather when it's 78 degrees and sunny outside.
But
too.
yeah, you're right. You're right. But we've got a lot to talk about. We've got a lot of baseball coming at you, at least in the private schools, and then public schools baseball playoffs is.
I think Pine of Arts plays Tuscaloosa Academy today in their first playoff game.
Where do they play that game? Do you?
Here in Pike.
Oh, I'm gonna go see that. I'm gonna try to see
That's
that.
2 out of 3. I don't know anything about Tuscaloosa Academy, except that Tuscaloosa is usually known for their good high school baseball. So
Well, last year the coach at Pike was a coach at was one of the coaches at Tuscaloosa Academy, and of course Pike.
they want revenge
Yeah.
because we beat them in the state basketball championship game.
Then of course Pike Liberal Arts is coming off back-to-back state championships, and they've got a young man named Drew that is quite a pitcher.
Yeah.
And
Made it to Auburn already.
I hope his daddy gets our taxes ready so he can go to the game.
I bet he's not gonna miss that
You
game.
got Mays White too, that's already from Florida State.
Yeah, tell us about him, Mike.
Well, I mean, he's the coach's son. I mean, he's the guy that was the quarterback that led Pine Bluff Arts to the state championship, and he had already committed to Florida State, I think, a couple of years ago. Kind of similar to what Nelson did with Auburn.
Of course, Drew Nelson, and Drew's only a junior, and one of the best pitchers that has come through here in a long time, and he's not even fully developed yet, Mike.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he'll get better.
Good news for Alabama fans. The Georgia Dome announced they'll go back to full capacity on May 15th. That's 72,000 fans will be able to watch Alabama, Miami in the kickoff classic, Chick-fil-A kickoff classic. Also, the Atlanta Braves. Big news out of Atlanta. The Atlanta Braves will go to full capacity on May the 7th.
I think that Alabama-Georgia game's going to be. Is that the first game of the year, Mike?
Alabama-Miami.
Alabama-Miami. That's the first game of the year to kick it all off.
First game for Alabama and Miami. I don't know who plays before. September 4th is when the season starts.
I'm going to go
But
ahead.
Isn't that great to know you can go to Atlanta now with your kids?
Yeah.
and get
Oh, yeah.
tickets to Braves games.
And that's right. That's right. When will that start, Mike?
May
Tonight?
the 7th.
May the 7th.
May the 7th will be 100% capacity.
All right, that is great to be able to go to Atlanta. I might get. I've not been to the new
I haven't either.
facility yet, and they say it's really a great place to watch a game. And but you know what? You know the crazy thing about all of this. If you hit Atlanta by at the end of the day where they've got all the traffic on the road, it'd take you forever to get over there, Mike. You'd have to do what you did last time we went.
It's a long way from where Fulton County Stadium is, huh?
You know what?
Well, if we do that, I'm just going to go buy the Peach Pass before I do it.
Well, let me just say this: Mike and I were going a few years back. We're going to see the Duke Troy game, and we knew we had to get through there because of the traffic was real. We were gonna get through there in a hurry because the traffic was so bad, and we were riding along and we were just stopped in traffic and we weren't moving, and we were trying to get to where were we going, Mike? To
we're going to Greenville, South Carolina.
Yeah, Greenville, South Carolina, to watch the NCAA tournament, and sure enough, we got caught in that heavy Atlanta traffic, and then that we what is that called, a peach?
Peach pass.
A peach pass. Have you ever heard of that? You know, that's a pass.
People pay for it that you can pass cars on.
Yeah, and I said, Mike, we're either going to have to be stuck here in traffic or we're going to have to take the peach trip. And sure enough, we took it. And about a year later, Mike, we got a bill about $100.
Yeah,
we got billed for it.
There's cameras everywhere taking pictures of my car. It was one of the most beautiful pictures of a car you could ever see.
No telling how much the city of Atlanta made on that, you know, because heck, we were over $100, I think, is what it cost us.
It's the new scam and racket for government, these cameras. I know all about the red light cameras and the stoplight cameras, but I didn't know about the Peach Pass cameras.
Yeah,
so
over in Atlanta.
I bet they do make a killing with people that get in the Peach lane.
That's right. And you get in that Peach lane.
And they got a picture of you in 1 second.
That's right. But you end up having to pay
for it. It's $100 fine for driving.
That's right.
That's what's so stupid about that trail. We drive all the way from Birmingham to Greenville. We decided not to stay for the second game because Troy got beat by 30. And
no, dude didn't beat Troy by 30 that day.
I think so. Yeah, it was a blowout.
No, about 20. I'm serious.
Then we got in the car and decided not to get a hotel and drove all the 4 hours back to Birmingham and got back about 3 in the morning.
Yeah, well,
there you go.
That was live. But,
well, that's what y'all do.
The traffic is just that tough, though. That time of
day.
We
don't do 4 hours going somewhere and 4 hours back. Usually we get a motel or hotel somewhere.
But
when I went with your dad to Tuscaloosa, we went up there and then we came back. I said, let's go to the Bryant Conference Center Hotel and get us a suite. And he said, no, we're going back.
No, you're right, and we got back in reasonable time too. Of course, we're sitting here waiting for the draft, which will be what time? 7:30 Central or what? Or Eastern?
6 o'clock is what I was reading.
6 o'clock, and that's when it'll start. And you know that is a event, just like the World Series or the bowl game or what. This is like an event.
Yeah, in the last 5-10 years, it's become. I mean, look, this big headlines on the front page, nonstop coverage on the ESPN. I don't know. It's just funny that. And then the people like Mel Kiper and all the other draft gurus have become super celebrities because they're just draft gurus.
That's right, and it's just like a special event, like the Super Bowl.
Well,
whatever.
You remember when they had it in
really something.
Memphis or some city, and there were tens and hundreds of thousands of people that came out to party at the event.
Yeah. And there'll be a huge crowd. Where's this starting from tonight?
It's going to be Cleveland, Ohio.
All right, Cleveland. I would have never known that it started in Cleveland, Ohio. Why Cleveland, Mike? Say, do you know why they did it in Cleveland?
They probably put in a bid like they do for the Super Bowl now.
And just think about people, like you said, crowded around, going to be tailgating and whatever, getting ready for the big night tonight.
What city was it? It was in Tennessee somewhere 2 years ago, I think, and it was just non-stop people, block after block. I guess people are just looking for an excuse to go out and party, just like the motorcycle people.
Yeah, I was. Normally I would have been at this event, but there was a big event in Headland, Alabama, and of course Troy University head basketball coach Scott Cross was the speaker and did a great job, and he always does. And but he was telling me this, and I'll fill you in on this, Mike. Troy has lost 4 players to the transfer portal since last season. Cam Woods, Antoine Burnett, Rory Pantoflet, and Miles Mendez. And they lost these guys to the portal, and then they picked up Riffin Mingel, a transfer from Ohio University, Cody Dean, a guard transfer from Pananola, Texas Junior College, T.K. Smith, a transfer guard from Kent State of all people, and Ifan Otaji, a forward transfer from UTEP. And so what they do, they lose 4 to the portal, and then they go ahead and go over here to this other portal here, and they get 4 more. That's the way they're doing it. It's crazy. It's crazy.
It's completely new.
You got my 4, now let me go to the portal. Let me go to the portal and say, I'll take him and him and him and him.
I mean, why do you recruit high school players anymore? Or remember then it was.
Yeah.
It's really not even high school they look at. It's AAU summer ball they look at. I'm not a fan of it.
Yeah, this is something I liked about Coach Cross, and I'll tell you this: any purebred Trojan loves to hear somebody say something good about their hometown. And something was recently he said I'm really enjoyed. He said what Cross said was a head coach at his alma mater UTEP for 12 years prior to arriving in Troy. And he said his family feels really at home in Troy, Alabama. And he said, my wife and kids absolutely love Troy, Alabama. I've lived my entire life in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, which is, and being a half a mile from home to work, it really pays dividends. I've been able to watch my boys play ball, and he says the gym is just right down the street from our house, so it's been a great experience to live in Troy. He says the arena at Troy University, Trojan Arena, can be a special place if packed, and against UAB. This year, that 76-75 match before 5,000 fans was a bittersweet loss, but one of the best basketball games I've ever seen in that game. And that was the one where UAB beat them on the very last second shot to lose that game. But he said he shows it to his recruits and so forth. He said this is the way a basketball game is supposed to be played.
Well, that was his first season against UAB.
That's
season.
right.
But he didn't coach at UTEP. He coached at Texas Arlington.
Yeah, Mike, that game
But you got to win. I mean, we can talk about a lot of things, but you got to find a way to win. This is going into your 3rd season. Tremendous pressure on Coach Cross. Tremendous pressure on Chip Lindsey. Brent Jones, the athletic director, he's going to have to make decisions, on all these coaching staffs if they can't find a way to win.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you, there's nobody going to games if you don't put a winning program out there.
That to go with COVID-19, it's like you're starting over again. It really is. It's really bad.
Well, it's just so weird though. You watch the elite programs and they handled COVID pretty well. I mean, I know Ohio State had a lot of issues, and they still made it to the national championship game. But you look at Alabama and some of the blue bloods. The way they played Notre Dame and other schools. I mean, and then you saw the non-Power 5 and some of the Power 5s really struggled with it.
But,
I mean, don't you think you'll go back and there'll be books about this year? I mean, don't you think everybody's going to want to know what Alabama did differently?
Yeah, it's and
Don't you wonder wonder if they all had it before the season. Like, none of that was ever released. You don't know.
You know, you're right. They
had issues.
And the other thing I've actually asked the SEC and schools, you never really knew what percentage of these players that were testing positive were asymptomatic. They didn't release it. So, but I just thinking if some of these coaches could really talk, they would tell you what they think about some of these COVID protocols. That you know, where the players had to sit out 14 days that hadn't even tested positive. They were just in close contact with somebody that had.
Yeah.
But Alabama got through it 13-0. You know, everybody else was playing 5, 6, 7, 8 games, and Alabama's record in the record books will look normal as could be, 13-0, like it was a regular season.
Yeah, I mean, all the difference, they played 10 regular season games and played an SEC championship. I mean, normally when you win a national championship now, you go 12-0. You win the SEC, you're 13-0.
You'd be 15-0.
When you do playoff games, you're 15-0.
Yeah.
So that's the only difference.
I always look at, was it Lindy's or Athlon's, they have these little charts that shows your average win trend over the last 5 years. It's a little graph, so you can see how if programs are being consistent or getting better. You know, and Alabama's is amazing because everybody else is 8 wins, 7 wins graph, and Alabama's is 12 or 13. But Alabama's graph will be above 12 from this year.
It's going. We're going to see history tonight, I believe. I don't. Will they get through the whole round one tonight?
Yeah. They'll do the first round for sure.
Boy, won't that? Hey, you talking about? I'll tell you this. You talk about something for the Alabama fans to really enjoy and really turn it on against everybody. All of their
Michael, we've been talking about how you can bet on the draft. The over/under on Alabama first round picks is 5.5. Are you taking over or under?
They'll have a pick.
I'm going to say over. I think for some reason Christian Barmore gets in.
All right, so you're saying they'll get at least 6.
I think Najee, Devonte, Waddle, Surtain, and Mac Jones are locks.
And then you throw in Barmore, and that makes 6. That's it.
Mike, the best I've seen of Mac Jones was 15th pick. Does that surprise you?
The worst you saw?
Yeah, I mean, what I'm saying, I didn't see him any better than that, than 15th.
Oh, I've seen him at number 3 for weeks.
I know it, but he's not there anymore on some of these experts. They're taking the guy from North Dakota State.
Man, how in the world did you take Trey Lance over Mac Jones?
Well,
you're talking about totally different competition at 1AA.
Yeah. Well, we're going to take a short break. We'll be back to Today in L.A. right after this.
Hi, Sandy. I'm right here. Come on in.
Eddie, I'm right here. Hello, Miss Mary. I'm right here. I'm right here.
Since 1969, we've been right here because at Troy Regional Medical Center, we take these words to heart.
I'm right here. Thank you.
Remarkable people, remarkable care.
At the Piggly Wiggly, we proudly support our local farmers and bring you the best they have to offer, all at cost plus 10%. When you shop local, you reinvest in your community. Remember, buy local, shop local. Piggly Wiggly, local since forever.
Oh, friends, you don't want to miss this. The $79 Eliminator Sale this Saturday only at Premier Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Troy. And yes, you can get a car for $79. Done deal. Or $79 down or $79 a month. Get there and pre-register at 8 a.m. At 9:45, we open the gates. Find the vehicle you're in love with, and you'll have first chance when the Eliminator comes around at 10 a.m. sharp. Slashing prices. Don't worry about the weather. Just be there. Call right now for details. 334-403-4646. It's this Saturday only at Premier Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Troy. Don't miss it.
Trojan Auto Parts of Troy, home of Napa Know-How. Stop by and see owners Mike and Melissa Kilcrease and their Napa Know-How team with over 100 years of combined experience. We're the only locally owned parts store in Pike County, and we're fully stocked and ready to serve you. We pride ourselves on being your go-to parts store, not only for the simple items, but we specialize in those hard-to-find items as well. Trojan Auto Parts, the right part at the right price at the right time. Napa, a name you've trusted here in Troy since 1945.
Fit in the world.
Yeah.
All right, we're back on there.
And we're talking
about the Kentucky Derby.
And the Kentucky Derby and whatever you like to talk about today. And, of course, we're still coming off of the Pike Liberal Arts Cheerleaders World Championship.
Well, and we need to talk about the Pike Liberal Arts going for that third straight state championship in baseball, too.
And that's going up. And of course, a very good Pike Liberal Arts going against a very good Tuscaloosa Academy. Is that today or tomorrow?
Today.
All right.
Today's
that's today.
Thursday, right?
Yep. But I see it on Friday. Let's get that straight.
Well, I thought it was best 2 out of 3, and it started.
Yeah, no.
I thought Forrest told us that.
Let's see.
So does Bobby's son dress with the varsity, or does he play with the junior varsity?
No, JV. He also broke a finger in the last game.
Oh, did he? Oh, boy.
He was pitching, and he caught a ball or made a play in the field, and he fell down and broke his finger.
All right, wait a minute. You're probably right.
147th running of the Kentucky Derby will take place Saturday at Churchill Downs in Louisville, Kentucky. It's back in its usual May spot. The Derby will kick off the Triple Crown season. Central Quality drew the 14 post and opened as the morning line favorite at 2-1 ahead of Rock Your World, who was 5-1 next door at the 15 post. Nona Agenda, the 6-1 drew the first post. Only 2 horses have finished in the top 3 that drew the 1 spot since the last winner in 1986. Ferdinand.
Yeah, I remember.
Post time, and the race will start on NBC at 5:57 p.m. tomorrow.
Okay, it's
Central Time or Eastern Time?
Eastern Time.
So 4:57.
So that'll be 5:57 Central Time. Not tomorrow, but Saturday. Sorry.
Well, it's the most exciting 2 minutes in sports, and it is. I always just let a number come to me and just, psychically let it flop into my brain. And, like number 5. And usually that works out pretty good sometimes.
Back to talking a little bit about baseball, and this is a big week for Pike Liberal Arts as they go up against their big rival, Tuscaloosa Academy. They play in here at I was hoping that they could play out at the Real Pace Field, but they're going to play the game at Pike Liberal Arts. And it's a very nice ballpark. Don't get me wrong. It's a good, and it's named after a great coach. And we'll be looking at that at 4 o'clock today. Pike Liberal Arts, first round of the championship baseball in the private schools, and it should be a real good ball game.
Will Troy Cable have cameras there?
I don't know. I haven't talked to anybody about it, but if they want to broadcast that, it would be a good one to broadcast and or telecast. And it's this game. If I remember right, they played this same Tuscaloosa Academy for the championship last year, or did they play Phoenix City? I can't remember exactly.
They not tell you they played.
They beat Tuscaloosa 2 years ago. COVID stopped their season last year.
Yeah, that's right.
So they would be going for a 4-peat if they season didn't get stopped last year. Most likely.
Is that right, Mike? It would have been a 4-peat.
COVID prevented playoffs last year.
Yeah. Boy, they have dominated. Pike Liberal had.
Well, they've won 2 in a row. Then, like Michael said, they couldn't win last year, but they would have been the odds-on favorite to win. So if they win this year,
that's when Dad went to Tuscaloosa and did the games and had a bad fall before winning the game.
That's right, yeah.
Well, then he came back. He did the game at Riverwalk Stadium because I watched it, where they beat Morgan Academy that had won 31 games in a row or something like that.
I'm sure if we could probably pick up a crew that'll go do that game, it's going to be a good one. Another great baseball game.
Well, Pike is going for a three-peat in baseball, 3 consecutive state titles in baseball, which is awesome. I mean, it's super rare. And then they're also going for the hat trick, if you will, or the triple crown in AISA sports by winning the state championship in football, basketball, and baseball, which I've researched. 2 schools in the history of AISA have done that. None in the 3A level. There was a 1A team and a 2A team. One of them was Edgewood Academy, I think, was the last one to do it in Millbrook. So Pike LeBlanc is playing for some big-time history with this baseball player.
It's unreal. And, my friends that are big supporters of Pike Liberal Arts, they'll probably, I was talking to a couple of them yesterday, and they think they'll probably sometimes they like to save the top pitcher for the second game, but so if they run into trouble in the first, that they've got a fallback with the top pitcher. But who would you think they'll go with, Mike? They'll go with.
I would go with your ace. I wouldn't outsmart yourself. Go with your number. Go with Nelson.
I don't know. I don't know who else pitches. I don't know Mays White, the coach's son, pitches. I know Nelson is the ace.
Yeah, Nelson is their ace, and he's the one that's got.
I don't know who else is like their strong pitchers.
I'll tell you what, the Nelson kid has got a pitch that a lot of good pitchers would like to have, is a good changeup. And his changeup to go is a pretty good fastball, and he's got 2 great pitches there that can get people out. A lot of people think it's one of the best changeups they've ever seen. Can you believe this on a high school pitcher?
I wish I could have.
And they say that his move to first base, when a runner does get on first base, say like his runner, he can pick him off right there, and once he gets on base. And that you don't hear that about many pitchers, but when they talk about him in the same breath of a changeup and a good hard fastball, they say, hey, he's got the best pick-off move to first base they've ever seen. So that means when the guy gets on first base, he can't get off. I mean, the guy's move to first base is just.
And what that does is that keeps people out of scoring position.
I wonder how that'll work with his family. I mean, surely they will shut him down after the season's over. There's no need to play travel ball or American Legion or anything. You got to keep his arm ready for Auburn or possibly the Major League Baseball draft. I'm scared to death that you could possibly, throw your arm out and have Tommy John, So,
I would too.
One of those type of things, as a parent, I mean, that's got to be a tough decision to make.
And then the shortstop, Mario White, is that is his name.
Mays White.
What now? Mays White is also a premium high school baseball player, and he's already committed to Florida State. And it's just ironic enough to tell you that Troy University's playing a 3-game series with Florida State this weekend. That would be a good trip, and I tell you, I'd love to make that trip to watch Troy and Florida State in a 3-game series starting tomorrow night. And
it's an easy drive to Tallahassee. It's only 2.5 hours.
Yeah. Now the Pike Liberal Arts girls softball team is also going for a state championship too.
And another thing, I want to say Charles Henderson's girls are still in the run for the softball.
I don't think they are.
Well, let's see here. It says 5A. It says all right. Maybe it was it. Maybe it's just started. The tournament's just started in softball.
I think Forrest is our expert on high school sports, but I think he said Brantley and Luverne and all our Crenshaw County, neighboring Dale County, or some other teams. They're all alive and well.
Well, just to that's.
So the SEC is going for the 15th consecutive NFL draft title. 15th consecutive NFL draft title. So that's 15 years in a row. 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 So that's That means more players that come out of the SEC every year in the draft than any other conference. Isn't that amazing?
Oh, yeah.
15 straight years.
Uh-huh. Huh. That is something.
Look at this. I'm reading a story in the sports page. Very interesting. It says the 2000 Miami Hurricanes are considered to be the greatest collection of players in college football history, at least as measured by the NFL draft. That team had 38 players on it who were drafted in ensuing years. And they say that this year's Alabama team is getting ready to beat that. If you look at the Alabama 2017 team and then look at all the drafts that came 2 or 3 years after that, Alabama is going to have a lot more than 38 players that were on those rosters that end up being drafted. So really, you're looking at, another way to look at these teams is you can say Alabama's getting ready to have 9 players almost as a lock go in the first and second round. Well, we know that 25 players are in a typical recruiting class, right? So that's over a third of your recruiting class going in the first 2 rounds. But you can also look at it when you dress on game day, you probably have 75 players at a home game that dress out. Well, you're saying that over 38, 40 of those players are one day going to be drafted into the NFL. Mm-hmm. That's just over half of your roster that you're playing with is future NFL players.
You know, another kid that played basketball in Alabama is probably going to get drafted in the first round. You know, Kadarius Toney, the great wide receiver at Florida. They think we're going the first round as well. So imagine if Alabama or Auburn recruited this kid. This kid ended up going to Florida from Blount High School.
Yeah, he was really good. That tight end for Florida is supposed to go 4th, maybe, which is super high for a tight end, and he is really good. Boy, he killed Alabama in the SEC championship game. So I think he is 4th. Mac Jones is 3rd. The tight end from Florida is 4th. The receiver from LSU who sat out last year, Chase, is 5th. And maybe Devonte is 6th. So if Bill Rice Jr. is right there, you got 4 consecutive picks early in the first round that are all SEC players.
This is an interesting story here. You remember the name Elijah Moore? He was a guy that is known for, I guess,
I remember.
Like a dog after,
yeah.
He called the touchdown pass against
Mississippi State.
Mississippi State, and
got the penalty.
Got the penalty, and of course, you know, they went lined up for a field goal and
missed it.
Or extra point, 15 yards back, and he missed the extra point. Mississippi State wins the Egg Bowl. And this kid's going to go in the first round, is what they're saying.
Yeah. He's a great redemption story. I mean, he could have quit, been run off, and he didn't. Came back with a better attitude and had a fantastic season. Yeah, he's a great player.
Yeah, Kiffin kept him around.
Yeah. Yeah, just to tell you, I was looking at it, softball in the state does not start until next week. But they've got a tournament that's going to be played, a girls' tournament that's going to be played in Slocum. I want you to hear this.
All right.
And one of the teams that's playing in the tournament in Slocum is Vestavia Hills of Birmingham. So they're just playing a tournament. They're going to tournaments this week, and then the state playoffs start next week. But I thought that was unreal. Listen to this. Vestavia Hills versus Brantley, 10:30. They're playing the.
Well, they're both powers.
Yeah, that's right. And the Geneva versus Vestavia Hills. It tickles me that those big schools, that big school,
coming to the
going to
Watergrass.
That's right.
Good for them.
And but then next week their playoffs start, and
there was a story in AL.com a couple of days ago. Michael might be able to pull it up. it ranked the best high schools in the state of Alabama, and Lamp in Montgomery was once again number one.
You mean academically?
Yeah, academically. I think it was U.S. News and World Report ranked it. You know, they all have different criteria. But Lamp was number one. I think Vestavia and Mountain Brook, as you would imagine, all the rich schools were in the top 10 too.
Yeah. But, you know, if you build a program like Brantley has, you know, you can play the big boys any day of the week, you know, in baseball or softball. You know, it's good. But, of course, you know, it just tickled me to see Vestavia going to Slocum to play in a tournament. And, you know, not knocking Slocum, but just how big Vestavia is.
Slocum's getting, that whole, all these little bedroom communities of Dothan are suddenly getting big, aren't they? Slocum and Headland and...
want to mention our...
Wicksburg, all that's growing.
Yeah. Want to mention our sponsors, and, of course, Premier Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram trucks on the bypass right here in Troy. Jason's got them going again. We'll be back.
This is my chart from Southeast Health.
And you're going to want to make it yours. Not because it's free,
But because it's priceless. Because with my chart, you can schedule appointments online with your provider.
you can email your provider and get answers.
Have a virtual visit.
Get test results.
Refill prescriptions.
And manage your family's health care.
You know how you all want healthcare to be easier?
But no one seems to listen? Well, someone did.
Southeast Health.
To get your free My Chart app,
Visit your app store or go to southeasthealth.org.
When something's just right, it's more than a good fit. It's that perfect feeling. And at Badcock Home Furniture and More, that means just for you comfort. Find styles that move you at Badcock's Motion and More sale. Featuring new recliner sets like our remarkable Duke collection or our selection of Lazy Boy recliners. All with no credit refused. So shop what's just right at your local Badcock in Elba and Enterprise. Badcock Home Furniture and More. Just right.
This is Barney at Premier Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram, and I'm here to nip this sale in the bud.
Hello, folks. This is Greg Anthony, sales manager at Premier Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Troy, Alabama, offering discounts up to $15,000.
Let's nip that.
0% financing up to 72 months.
We gotta nip that.
Barney, $5,000 over Kelly Blue Book for your trade-in.
You're killing the competition.
Barney!
A personal touch, a high level of trust. Whether it's checking and savings accounts, personal or business loans, or our local friendly service. That's what Troy Bank and Trust customers expect. But now we offer more. Free identity theft protection for our new and existing customers, protecting your family's time, money, and good name from identity theft. Because protecting your identity is now a big part of our identity.
Money to everybody, trillions and trillions of dollars. We're talking about the State of the Union speech last night, and I didn't watch it, but I caught some of the headlines that just basically seems like more money for everything. Mike, I swear, where are we coming up with all this money?
I don't know. I don't know.
I want that money tree in my backyard.
I know it. I'm waiting for my check, and I don't know when if it'll ever get here.
we got some stimulus checks, but more are coming, and the states get the money, and the cities get the money, and the families get the money. The healthcare gets the money. The infrastructure gets the money. The military gets the money.
You know, one thing that I thought would be a huge, I don't know if it'd be a problem or what, but college grants, you know, would they ever do any way program that would pay up college grants?
Well, it's been proposed to do away with student debt that people have. And which a lot of people have got tons of debt.
Yeah, he talked about doing away with student loans.
Yeah,
sure.
The student loans. Don't you know that probably half of that money probably went to a car or a truck or something like that? Don't you?
Well, those
He also said that contract workers are going to get paid $15 an hour. So the majority of the workers down here are contract workers. You know, they're having to bring in a lot of workers in Panama City Beach area are coming from the Caribbean because they just don't have enough people to work right now. And it's actually coming into a lot lot of my restaurants and bars down here in Walton County as well.
Well,
they're having to have visas, and they're bringing in a lot of people just to have people to work.
That's
A
amazing.
lot of people are sitting at home right now, collecting checks. And
That's right.
all these restaurants and bars don't have any help.
That's right. They're making more money from more money from what the government's giving them, and why work whenever you can do that?
Yeah, and then they extended the unemployment benefits.
It's become a huge problem in the tourist area that I live in.
Well, I was stunned the other day when we went to get Jack's checkup at Charles Simpson Child Health Center. We had time to kill. I said, let's go to Jack's. That restaurant's named for Jack.
Yeah.
So I always liked Jack's because it stayed open. You could actually eat inside. So we went in there, sign on the door. We apologize. The lobby in the front is not open due to a lack of employees.
Isn't that amazing?
I said, that's exactly what Michael was talking about.
So we're the problem with a lot of the unemployment. If you look at it that way.
Well, I mean, you can't blame people for working the system. If you can work the system and make more money you've ever made in your life and do nothing,
that's right.
Why would you not?
Well, they're paying minimum wage, and you make more than minimum wage with, I guess.
And the thing is, not only are they paying you, but they're paying your wife. There are two people getting a check.
I don't like the mandatory minimum wage either. I think you should pay whatever the market bears. But the minimum wage hasn't been raised and risen in about 25 years. I don't think $7 an hour.
That's ridiculous.
You can't make a living on $7.
Go to at least $10 an hour. I could understand $10 an hour. That's what I pay the guy that work in my yard, $10 an hour.
The reason they won't raise it is if they raise the minimum wage, then they got to raise everybody else's wage. And then if they raise the minimum wage, they have to raise their prices to cover it. And then that gets where goods and services are too expensive for people to buy them. Everything goes back to inflation, real inflation, and the government says there is no inflation, but I say the government ain't telling us the truth, man. There is real, and the reason that the one way they are trying to suppress inflation is not give these minimum wage increases, because that would create even more obvious inflation.
Yeah. They feel like by doing this, they're putting money into the economy, but hey, if you're not going to work, it's not paying dividends.
I want to get deeper, and you can tell I thought about this. What's the big issue, and has been for years, is the illegal aliens and workers coming from other countries, right?
Yes, exactly.
Well, who actually wants this? It's the Chamber of Commerce and the business people want this to happen. Why? Because they can pay those laborers cheaper. They don't have to pay them the higher wages, which allows them to make bigger profits, and it allows them not to pass along as high price increases to the customers. So if you follow the money wants the cheap Mexican, Honduran, Caribbean labor to come in to have all these jobs that Michael's talking about.
And at the same time,
basically all these people from other countries are doing all the jobs that American workers won't do.
That's right.
Well, the American workers won't do it because they're really making the decision, do I really want to get daycare for my child, drive into work, and make $7 an hour where the government's going to take 20% of it out in taxes? Is it really worth it for that? They would have more workers if they would raise the wages, but they don't have to raise the wages because they can get people working from other countries.
Exactly right.
So it all ties in together in my mind.
Want to
mention? It's a perfect example. Mike Thomas was the mayor of Panama City Beach, and every time I go by Thomas's Donuts, Mike Thomas, his son, his cousins, his nephews, they're having to run Thomas's Donuts right now because they can't find any workers. I talk to them about it every time I'm up there.
Oh yeah.
So it's just some of these great establishments that are legendary down here at the beach. The only reason they're still up and running because the actual owners and all their families are keeping it alive.
No question about it. No question about it that it's becoming a real problem.
Well, it's a
same thing. They can't find anybody for help up there.
It's a big story, and I think we're good to talk about it, and maybe some callers will call in. But I mean, Michael's seeing it everywhere. I mean, we're seeing signs in Troy. I gave you one example. I guarantee there's others of places that are closed because they don't have the help and the workers. Another weird one that I've never gotten is all these signs saying that please pay with exact cash or credit card because we don't have any change.
Yeah.
I try to think hard about this, but I don't understand the coin shortage that allegedly happens in America.
Yeah. Very strange.
Looking at Major League Baseball, Mike, who would you think is the top team in the American League?
I think the Oakland A's have won like 14 straight.
14 straight. The Oakland A's? I didn't realize that. They're 15-9.
I think I read that they had a 13-game winning streak and it was defeated. And
the Boston Red Sox are at 15-9, so both of them have the same record. It's amazing that streak they're on. Looking at the Yankees,
I guess they were on the streak.
Yeah. Now in the National League, the best team
that brings
is the
up
Dodgers.
a trivia question for you two trivia gurus. What's the longest winning streak in Major League Baseball history?
Oh boy.
I know the Padres
10,
12 years ago won about at least 16 or 17 in a row.
Who did?
I had to look that up. The Padres.
I sure didn't remember that.
I thought it would be about 21 or something. I remember the Braves. They opened the season one time with 13 straight victories. That was a big deal.
The Rays swept the Cubs, so now they're tied for first with the Phillies in the East.
Yeah, they're 11-12, and
they're 12-12
now. Okay. And of course, Los Angeles is 10-9. That's the best record in the. 16-9, and San Francisco is 15-9. So.
Does anybody watch or keep up with the NBA? I don't.
I know it, yeah.
I watch it during the playoffs, but I can't watch it during the regular season. I mean, nobody plays any defense. Nobody guards anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, Steph Curry, I watch him every once in a while just because I like watching him shoot.
Well,
cause he's like averaging 40 points a game right now. It's been incredible.
He's the best shooter in basketball. I mean.
Well, I don't hear anybody. I don't get out much, but I don't hear much people talking about. Did you watch this NBA game, or does it get good TV ratings? These players are getting paid $100 million a year. Where's the money come from? Because I just don't think it's that popular. I guess it is in certain cities.
The New York Giants in 1916, Dad. Who played for the New York Giants in 1916?
Oh, I don't know who played for them.
They claim the New York Giants baseball team has the longest consecutive game winning streak, 26 in 1916.
What about modern baseball history? What's after that?
Yeah.
I'll pull it up.
Still 26 in a row.
Of course, I want to mention Wiley Sanders truck lines, and of course for a career.
Baltimore Orioles in 71, won 17 in a row.
Who now?
Baltimore Orioles in 1971 won 17 in a row.
17 in a row.
Let's see, the Miami Dolphins went undefeated in 1 year and won the Super Bowl, and they were, 14-0?
Yeah. I tell you this, I remember that Baltimore team had great pitching. They had
Jim Palmer.
Yeah, Palmer was one of them, and you had
Frank Robinson.
I can't remember. He was one of the players on that team.
Actually, the Cleveland Indians in 2017 had a 22-game winning streak.
Right, I was close. I said 21.
Yeah, I know it. But
they're coached by Terry Francona, who was the coach of the Birmingham Barons when Michael Jordan played.
Yeah. Yeah. And what was the team?
He coached the Birmingham Barons.
I know it, but yeah. But
Cleveland Indians is the most current team with 22 games in a row they won.
All right, okay. Sorry about my cough. I can't get over
That was an interesting year. I bet the Barons set attendance records that year when Michael Jordan was there.
People still tell stories about going up there and standing in line for hours to watch Jordan play baseball.
Yeah.
And he hit? He ended up hitting about 200 for the year.
Yeah, you know, he had like around 50 RBIs. I mean, he wasn't horrible for a guy that hadn't played since he was in high school.
We're going to take
2 or 3 home runs.
We're going to take a break. We're live on Troy Cable today in L.A., and we'll be back in just a moment.
Tebow was giving up baseball, hadn't he?
Yeah, he's done.
Boys, I don't know if we can chat. At least I can't.
Well, we're on the air. If we're chatting right now, I can talk about anything.
Yeah, I know it. Yeah.
I want to talk some more about inflation. I want to talk about this labor shortage.
All right, we're going to
Well,
get
we've been
into
talking
politics.
about sports.
Are we on commercial or what?
No,
No,
we're
I
going.
thought we were.
I'm just getting warmed up.
Yeah, that's the way it is.
This is my chart from Southeast Health.
And you're going to want to make it yours. Not because it's free.
But because it's priceless. Because with my chart, you can schedule appointments online with your provider.
You can email your provider and get answers.
Have a virtual visit.
Get test results.
Refill prescriptions.
And manage your family's health care.
You know how we all want healthcare to be easier?
But no one seems to listen? Well, someone did.
Southeast Health. To get your free My Chart app,
Visit your app store or go to southeasthealth.org.
When something's just right, it's more than a good fit. It's that perfect feeling. And at Badcock Home Furniture and More, that means just for you comfort. Find styles that move you at Badcock's Motion and More sale. Featuring new recliner sets like our remarkable Duke collection or our selection of Lazy Boy recliners. All with no credit refused. So shop what's just right at your local Badcock in Elba and Enterprise. Badcock Home Furniture and More. Just right.
This is Barney and Premier Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram, and I'm here to nip this sale in the bud.
Hello, folks. This is Greg Anthony, sales manager at Premier Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Troy, Alabama, offering discounts up to $15,000.
Let's nip that.
0% financing up to 72 months.
We gotta nip that.
Barney, $5,000 over Kelly Blue Book for your trade-in.
You're killing the competition.
Barney!
A personal touch, a high level of trust. Whether it's checking and savings accounts, personal or business loans, or our local friendly service. That's what Troy Bank and Trust customers expect. But now we offer more. Free identity theft protection for our new and existing customers, protecting your family's time, money, and good name from identity theft. Because protecting your identity is now a big part of our identity.
Name of a pro team in Utah. You call. We're going to back to our show, ladies and gentlemen. Brought to you by Premier Dodge Chrysler Jeep and Ram trucks on the bypass, and also Bird Drugs. Joe Watson and all the great people at Bird Drugs on the corner since 1940, and we appreciate Joe. And he hadn't been there that long, but there was some people in that family there were, and we appreciate all of our sponsors, our sisters, and they're open Monday through Friday. They're not open on the weekend anymore, but their food is just as good and it is delicious. And
well, good for Pat and Geraldine. I mean, having their weekend.
Oh, they do. You're right.
That's good. That's great for them. I mean, all those years having to be open on Sunday, and I mean, can you imagine what all the things they're able to do now and enjoy life more? Good for them.
And they still have very good food from Monday through Friday, and it's fresh vegetables and just delicious. And let me tell you what, I had shrimp. Fried shrimp for $10.99. $10.99. I had 12 fried shrimp with those delicious French fries and slaw, and that was a meal. I
Were
had
at
that.
Sisters?
Yes, sir. They have either fresh shrimp or fried oysters daily.
I want to mention something the other day. I was real sad that we lost Bud Skinner the other day. He was the owner of Jubilee Seafood Restaurant.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah.
And a real good watering hole called Bud's, named after him. But Jubilee Seafood, a lot of people believe, is the best restaurant in Montgomery.
Yeah.
And he worked so hard on it, and he died at 65. He might have died of COVID. I'm not sure.
About that. I know John Longshow's best friend.
Yeah, he's Rush. My brother Rush has been a good customer and a good buddy of Bud's, and I knew him a little bit, and I was just sad to hear that.
I know.
I know a lot of people from Troy have been to certainly the Jubilee Seafood many times.
Yeah, you know, as a lot of boys, you could catch some Troy boys around that area. A lot of Troy people have reside now in Montgomery.
Oh man, one time it was even today. I mean, it's. You know what Montgomery is? Montgomery's a small town. I moved and lived up there, and it was Montgomery. When I was a kid, it seemed like a big city, but it's really not. But it's full of people from small towns that move up to Montgomery. I mean, it's just replete.
So the population is right at 200,000. Is that a small town?
Well, the former mayor, Emery Falmer, was from Troy.
Yeah.
The person that is one of the best-known citizens in Montgomery forever, Bubba Trotman, was from Troy. Rush Rice is from Troy. Mark Davis is from Troy.
Bill Blunt's from Troy.
Calhoun, Richie, your friend Calhoun.
That's right. Richard Calhoun
is from Troy.
Richard Calhoun and Jay Corley are both from Troy.
Stuart Vance, that does all the commercials, is from Troy.
That's right.
My friend Charles Bradshaw was from Troy.
That's right.
Goes on and on.
Quite a few, and a lot of them are Montgomery Country Club boys too, aren't they? But
Dad probably at one time, he worked in Montgomery for 26 years. He probably went to every restaurant in Montgomery.
Oh yeah,
many times. What were your favorites?
I don't know. You know, I didn't go. I had the doctor's appointment yesterday, and I didn't go to Martin's, but I like Martin's a lot. But
Martin's,
I used to like.
You know the story. Dad went to Huntington Cafeteria at Huntington College because they had Morrison's cater.
It was Morrison's Cafeteria catered the students at Huntington.
That was the way to get Morrison.
And I paid probably $5 for it. Maybe even less than $5.
Smart move.
Dad, you like Down the Street Cafe? Is it still open?
Yeah, I do. Down the Street Cafe I know, and that's a great place. That's a watering hole. But it's got wonderful.
It's in the curve, and
they got wonderful lunches. Wonderful lunches at Down the Street Cafe.
I think Dirk's Filet and Vine is the best home cooked meal in Montgomery. I think now it's an old wine and cheese.
That's right.
Casserole store that they've started serving food, and it's just fantastic.
You know, right now in Troy, you know, and all of these are not our sponsors, but you know, you take You take Graves, and you take, and I'll tell you this, another great place is
Mossy Grove.
Mossy Grove.
I went up there for the first time, and I don't go enough. And I said, "We're going, honey," and we took the kids, and it was as good as ever.
And the thing about it is, it's got wonderful steaks.
Steaks, real good.
Especially if you ask them to cut it thick, and they're delicious. And of course, their catfish is wonderful.
Friday,
And their food is really good. And,
well, Troy is in Pike County are just full of great restaurants on a per capita basis.
We like to mention our good place to eat in Raymond, Alabama, and you know
Red
Schoolhouse.
Red Schoolhouse is my favorite part of all time.
And of course, it's got fresh peas and corn on the menu a lot of that time, and it's just wonderful country food.
Well, let's see where else I like. I'm going back to Montgomery though, just because I know we visited. We won't.
Remember the place everybody used to love to go to when I was a kid was Daryl's, and it closed. You remember that place?
Yeah, that Italian restaurant.
The Green Lantern was good at one time.
Oh yeah.
Hamburger King people liked.
It's still, people are still eating Hamburger King.
Corsino's was a good little Italian rrestaurant that recently closed.
The pizza place in Cloverdale people talk about all the time.
Yeah, that's good. Tomasino's.
Yeah, Tomasino's. Yeah, I have friends that stop there every time they go through Montgomery. They say it's that good.
Well, everybody claims that Sips is as good a pizza as you'll eat anywhere, and a great
Sips does
place.
have good pizza. Sinclair's is still open in Montgomery. I used to go there.
They've closed one of them. The one in Old Cloverdale is closed. That's where I went on my first date with Carrie. But yeah, it was an institute.
Oh yeah, I tell you what,
now there's a Mexican restaurant that's right down from Sinclair's. I can't think of the name of it. The yuppies in Old Cloverdale go to.
Yeah. I go there with the Calhoun some. I know what you're talking about.
But, you know, we're talking about restaurants.
There's a website, Facebook. There's a Facebook. No, this is good stuff. People like to talk about food.
What about Bud's? Is Bud's still open?
Well, Bud's, the Bud just passed away, but I guess surely they'll keep Bud's open.
So Bud's and Jubilee are the same place?
Same owner, yeah. I mean, not the same place. They're 20 yards from each other, 50 yards from each other.
I tell you, I went by Huntington's campus the other day when Dad was in the hospital. Man, that campus looks great.
It's a beautiful campus and a great school. Great school.
What I was going to say, though, is there's a Facebook site that's real popular, or a website called Lunch in the Gump. And all people do is review restaurants and talk about restaurants and ask questions about. It's got a lot of members and people love it. So you talk about restaurants and people are going to, you know there's an interest in it because people all have their opinions on what's the best place. But you know who started that Lunch in the Gump was Rush, and his buddies started Lunch in the Gump. Now it's changed, but what they used to do, all his little yuppie friends, is about 6 of them would go to a restaurant unbeknownst to the owners, and then they would go back and write about it. And they're all real clever and witty, and they didn't write about chain restaurants. You had to be a locally owned local restaurant, and that's how. And then it got a little cult following, and then they branched out and went where everybody could join it. But if you're really interested in restaurants in Montgomery, check out a place called Lunch. It's got a funny name, Lunch in the Gump. I guess that's the nickname of Montgomery. You could have a Lunch in Troy type site, the same. There's one right there, Dulce's pastry shop.
That's right. It is a good place. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back.
But you would eat them in Troy and in Montgomery.
That's right. Of course, I tell you.
We're going to set the record for breaks today?
Yeah. Well, I tell you this: we're not even on.
This is my chart from Southeast Health.
And you're going to want to make it yours. Not because it's free,
but because it's priceless. Because with my chart, you can schedule appointments online with your provider.
You can email your provider and get answers.
Have a virtual visit.
Get test results.
Refill prescriptions.
And manage your family's health care.
You know how we all want healthcare to be easier?
But no one seems to listen? Well, someone did.
Southeast Health. To get your free My Chart app,
visit your app store or go to southeasthealth.org.
When something's just right, it's more than a good fit. It's that perfect feeling. And at Badcock Home Furniture and More, that means just for you comfort. Find styles that move you at Badcock's Motion and More sale. Featuring new recliner sets like our remarkable Duke collection or our selection of Lazy Boy recliners. All with no credit refused. So shop what's just right at your local Badcock in Elba and Enterprise. Badcock Home Furniture and More. Just right.
This is Barney at Premier Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram, and I'm here to nip this sale in the bud.
Hello, folks. This is Greg Anthony, sales manager at Premier Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Troy, Alabama, offering discounts up to $15,000.
Let's nip that.
0% financing up to 72 months.
We gotta nip that.
Barney, $5,000 over Kelly Blue Book for your trade-in.
You're killing the competition.
Barney!
A personal touch, a high level of trust. Whether it's checking and savings accounts, personal or business loans, or our local friendly service. That's what Troy Bank and Trust customers expect. But now we offer more. Free identity theft protection for our new and existing customers, protecting your family's time, money, and good name from identity theft. Because protecting your identity is now a big part of our identity.
Okay. Back to our show, and ladies and gentlemen, McAllister's is coming to Troy, and from all, I remember eating at it in Auburn quite a bit, but it's a good restaurant. It's it's a deli, and it's a nice deli. So get ready.
Sandwiches and soups and baked potatoes. I tell you what they're known for more than anything is their sweet tea.
Yeah.
Their tea is unbelievably good.
Can you believe it?
You know what I liked is was a good addition to Troy was Mama Goldberg's on having another restaurant on the square. We eat there quite a bit.
I was told that it was going to move to another place. I wish we
no.
that it was going to move to another location.
Another location. It's
going to
keep
have
that
two
one.
locations.
Okay.
Yeah. But let me just say this. I like, and we wish we had more restaurants close to campus. Think of these kids, the college kids. You think most college kids stay up till 10 o'clock, 10:30, 11 o'clock at night?
They don't even go out until 10 o'clock.
When there's
2 o'clock at night.
And when there's no restaurants to go to, what do they do? You
got 2 Waffle Houses.
But we need more. Well, we need more places to eat late at night for kids. For these college
kids. They need late night eating places. We also got a Huddle House, so we got 2 Waffle Houses and the Huddle House. But I don't know how late the Huddle House stays open.
Go ahead.
The university has found a kid from Ohio University, Ford Reppin Miguel. He played junior college ball at Tallahassee Community College. So Coach Ross and his staff had recruited him before he decided to go to Ohio. But in junior, he averaged about 10 a game. He's a guy that has tremendous size, 6'8", 240.
That's good.
So that's coming off signing a guy that transferred from UTEP that was 6'9", 240. So Troy's definitely getting bigger.
Well, he was out there for most anybody, and we got him. I wonder, did anybody else want him?
Well, Troy's got transfers now from Ohio University, Kent State University, and UTEP. So, we were talking about when Coach Cross was on the show, do you want to have junior college guys that you want to bring in, or do you want to bring in grad transfers or transfers from other Division I programs? He said, I always want to add grad transfers first or transfers from other colleges in Division I first. So he's got the opportunity. These guys don't have to sit out a year. They can play immediately and should help Troy.
Yeah, I hope so.
It seems like you could get some players from like 1AA type schools or Division II. Remember one time Ole Miss, I think, got a transfer from the Division II program in Mississippi that ended up being an All-American. But, like somebody like Terry McCord, when he played Division II for Troy, you don't think he could have played for Division I teams?
Oh, shoot, he could. Yeah. Or AUM or somebody like that. You get them away from.
It seemed like you could shop around and find the best small college players and have private teams.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, AEM used to have so many great players. Chapman was there for so many years.
Yeah.
As far as getting kids in school, it was a lot easier to get kids in school at AUM and other places.
Yeah.
He had plenty of Division I players playing NAIA back in the day.
We're bragging about off the air that Troy's getting another coffee place, and it's the coffee place of the world. Do you know that?
I want a Krispy Kreme.
Well, that's on the
Krispy Kreme.
No.
No, Starbucks.
Starbucks is coming to Troy.
Starbucks is coming to Troy?
Yes, sir. Will you like that?
No. I've never got the $5 designer coffee concept.
What happened to the billionaire, the owner of Starbucks? He was supposed to run for president. What happened to him? He just didn't make the cut.
I don't know, but Starbucks. That we have a Starbucks in the.
We have
Trojan
a good coffee
Center.
place.
We have a Starbucks in the Trojan Center, but I hear
don't you have Village Coffee?
Yeah,
that's right.
And a Village Coffee downtown.
That's right.
We like that. They're locally owned.
That's right, and I need to get by there and see those folks. They're good people. And
talking about politics,
I've never drank coffee in my life, so I can't tell you.
And man, I tell you what,
I drink too much.
Compared to your daddy.
That's funny that you one squeeze it and the other.
Your daddy loves coffee.
I'm drinking Milo's tea. Milo's tea needs to be a sponsor of mine because I've gone through probably about 1,000 jugs of Milo's.
Do you drink it sweet or unsweet?
I'm drinking unsweet now. I'm trying to be more healthy.
How's your diet going, Mike?
I kind of got off it. My dad had a major stroke and scared me to death. And then next thing I know, I was eating fried chicken at Martin's, eating Mexican for lunch that day. The stress must have been good for me, though. I hadn't gained any more weight. So I have been exercising a lot more.
I haven't been on my program very good either the last couple of days. Hey, talking about politics, y'all see where Caitlyn Jenner, the former Bruce Jenner, is running for governor of California?
Oh, gosh. You know, let me tell you now, do you know, I'm going to tell you this, he was sort of an idol of mine when he was Olympic gold medal winner. I like Bruce Jenner. But gosh, how can people change like that? But they must, and evidently he likes his life as a woman, and is running for office as a woman.
He is a woman now. I mean, he wouldn't have had everything done. So he's a guy that, or she, Caitlyn, is somebody that probably will do pretty well running for governor in California.
Yeah.
California's a different place to live.
Well,
man, that state is different, buddy. I don't know how it stays open with all their wacky ideas out there.
I mean, they already elected Arnold to be governor, so I mean, why not Caitlyn?
Boy, I tell you. And he was when he was in the Olympics, he was the greatest athlete in the world.
He was, and the decathlon was a huge deal. You know, in the last couple of Olympics, they haven't hyped it up, but it used to be the event that the TV's focused on, the decathlon.
But that.
And he won it. I can tell you, it was in the Montreal Olympics. I can remember all my Olympics.
Yeah.
And you know what else happened there? That was the Olympics that the boxing team did so great, which was Sugar Ray Leonard, Leon Spinks, Michael Spinks.
What was the guy?
Evander Holyfield should have won a gold medal. They took it away from him.
But that was the days when nobody could beat that Cuban. Nobody ever beat that Cuban, did he?
Teofilo Stevenson.
And nobody ever beat him.
Good. No, heck no.
You know, they talk about the greatest boxers in the world. I don't have to say Stevenson was. He never got beat. He was just a great boxer.
Well, think about what that system cost him. I guess he was happy and taken care of, but he could have been the heavyweight champion of the world. And
then, of course, we had Brian Bosick. I want to say that's the name, Bosick. He was a great Olympic boxer.
I'm going to see how good Michael is right now. Don't look it up, Michael.
I'm looking at golf scores, the Valspar.
Start from 1964 and tell me the site of all the Summer Olympic Games.
Oh, God. I'd be all for that.
I think 64 was Tokyo, 68 was Mexico City, 72 was...
I was at opening ceremonies in Atlanta in 96. I know 84 was Los Angeles, wasn't it?
Yeah. 80 was...
92 was Seoul, or 88 was Seoul.
I think so. Let me go. 72 was Germany. Was it Munich or Berlin? That's where we had the terrorist attack.
That's right.
And Mark Spitz won the 7 gold medals. Then 76 was Montreal and Bruce Jenner. 80 was Moscow, which Jimmy Carter boycotted.
Yeah, isn't that something? Yeah.
84 was Los Angeles. 88 was Seoul. 92 was, you might have Madrid, or I don't know. I might have hit my...
92, I think, was Barcelona.
Barcelona, thank you. Yeah. 96 was Atlanta. And then I'm going to stop right there.
And Mike, you can tell all kinds of stories about your working
the
Olympics.
I was at an Olympic boxing match one night, and I looked behind me, and behind me is John Stockton and Carl Malone. I had better seats than them.
Ah. They were together?
Yeah.
He worked for the
they were together. Jack Nicholson was sitting about 4 or 5 rows in front of me. We worked for Haynes and Champion.
Yeah.
And the head marketing guy for Champion Sporting Goods was a guy named Mitch Parnell that played linebacker at Troy.
Yeah, I remember him.
He's now a lawyer, isn't he?
He came to Johnny Williams and said, "Hey, I'd really like to have some guys from Troy University, my alma mater, come work for me at the Olympics." And then I found out how much they're going to pay me an hour. I think it was like $25 an hour or something like that. It was insane. and then me and a guy named Britt Bonner, he played football at Troy, ended up getting a place, I think in Stone Mountain. We stayed pretty far outside of Atlanta. A friend of my Uncle John Johnny's had when he lived over in Atlanta. He rented out a room, 2 rooms to us for like a month, and we worked the '96 Olympics.
Did you really do a lot of? Did you do a lot of work, real work?
Well, it was actually interesting work because we were working with a bunch of retired FBI agents because it was a customs issue as far as ACOG and customs. All the Olympic merchandise had to have a certain amount of rings and the Olympic logo, and it had to only be Hanes and Champions merchandise. So what we were doing was walking the streets looking for counterfeit goods. You had so many people trying to sell, fake Nike Olympic merchandise and Reebok and all these different other brands. And it was one of those type of things. Basically, we had like little walkie-talkies walking downtown Atlanta, because there's all kinds of different vendors everywhere. And we basically just had to make sure that everything was legit. Yeah. And then if we found something counterfeit, we'd actually bring in the real deal, former FBI guys to confiscate it.
Mike, you also were very close to the place where they had the bumming.
Yeah, we were at Centennial Park when.
How far were you away from that?
Oh, we were listening to the band right there where he ended up leaving the bag. Rudolph left the bag. We were there and left about an hour before that happened. We were actually listening to that band.
Yeah. You know that guy left there, and it took them 6 or 8 years to find him.
I know it.
And they found him. They found him emptying a trash can.
He already bombed the abortion clinic in Birmingham before.
Yeah. What was his name? Rudolph.
Rudolph.
Aaron Rudolph.
And then they accused the wrong guy at the beginning. Some private.
Yeah, they accused Richard Joel.
And what I could not believe, I don't know if they've ever made it public, but that guy stayed at large. Yeah, that's right, at large for a long time.
Yeah, he went to the North Carolina mountains, and he had a lot of people helping him.
Yeah.
It never came out, but he had a lot of people that believed in what he believed in, and yeah, that was crazy. But I got to go see the Dream Team play twice. I got to go to opening ceremonies. I mean, I had tickets to everything for free. I mean, we had.
That's
awesome. It was the most unbelievable experience you could ever have to be a young kid.
That's right.
I was only 20.
You say you got paid $25 an hour. It reminds me of another event that remember the Exxon Valdez oil disaster, and so they cleaned it. They had to clean it up for months afterwards.
Yeah.
And they were paying these people tons of money to clean up the oil spill. And one of them was Kent Hendricks, who's Bobby's good friend from Troy, that went out and lived in Alaska for like 6 months and got paid $40, $50 an hour to clean up the oil spill.
Oh, I mean, look at the BP oil spill down here. People got paid $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 that because they claimed it affected their job and their pay. I mean, everybody got paid on that. If you're living in Florida, I think everybody that lived down here got paid.
The lead lawyer in some of those lawsuits was Ron Jones, Hank Jones' son, from Beasley Allen in Montgomery. Yeah. He spent years coordinating a lot of those lawsuits.
You're talking about a prestigious, I would say this, Ron Jones is one of the top lawyers in the state of Alabama. Troy, living in Montgomery.
He heads up their environmental law department. Yeah, he's done extremely well. You know who?
Well, we got the NFL draft tonight, right? You go ahead and call it. We're going to have
go ahead and call it
history tonight with Alabama.
I'm going to say Alabama ends up with 5, so that ties LSU for the SEC record, but they do not tie or break. So I guess that I'll say that. Najee does go, and all the 4 you mentioned, but I'm going to say that Barmore, Dickinson, and Leatherwood go in the second round.
But it'll be up to
them.
I
hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah. Barwood is best.
How many times do you think Nick Saban will be on camera? You think we could have a lot on that?
Well, it ought to be just a full 4-hour ad for the University of Alabama football program.
Let's get everybody right on the channel, Mike. Tell us the channel and the time.
It's, ESPN at 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock, and it's going to be quite a show. It'll go into the night, probably go into 12 or past 12, don't you think?
No, they got 15-minute gaps.
You'll have ESPN and NFL Network will be covering it, so it just depends on who you want to watch. I don't know what the NFL Network channel is on Troy Cable, but I know that they'll be covering it, and ESPN will be covering it.
But I'll tell you this, it's going to be a lot of fun. I also want to mention that Troy softball has got a big three-game series with Texas State this weekend. So
and they're trying to make the tournament.
That's right.
NCAA tournament.
Sure are. We'll,
and good luck to Pike Liberal Arts.
Yes, sir. Big game. I'm going to be out there to watch that game. That's going to be a great game with Tuscaloosa Academy.
Yeah.
Hope you have a great day. We'll see you.